the Bill and Scott Cubicle Show with Billy the Kid and Scott Pang.
Cubicle Show. Cubicle Show. Cubicle Show. Cubicle Show.
Cubicle Show.
It's the Bill and Scott Cubicle Show. Yeah. It's the Bill and Scott Cubicle Show. Yeah.
What's going on? I'm Scott.
And I'm Bill.
And this is
the Bill and Scott Cubicle Show.
Epi number 111.
And it's a very special day.
Because
today is
the most glorious day of the year. It's
Kansas Day!
Woo!
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
But that's not all. And then this.
That was really bad. So what is Kansas Day, Bill?
Well, Kansas Day was January 29th, 1861, the day that Kansas was accepted as the 34th state in the Union.
So it was what happened in 18...
Kansas became a state 151 years ago today, and so every year we celebrate the addition of that great state to our union.
And we got some stuff coming up on Ronda Rousey, Taylor Swift, Jay-Z versus Trump, all that stuff. We're going to get into the Grammys in a minute, but we should explain to you why we care about Kansas Day. What is the origins of our story?
Of our passion for Kansas Day. So we got, hold on, let's flip it around and show them. We got these calendars that we put up on, above our desks here, so we keep track of what's going on in the world and our schedules and whatnot. So Scott's filling out this dry erase calendar. He's like, all right, so I got, New Year's Day. This was in like December last year. New Year's Day, Martin Luther King Day. Are there any other holidays in January? And I'm like, I don't think so. Let me just go check the Google machine real quick and make sure.
I
Googled holidays in January. Kansas Day pops up. I'm like, January 29th, what is Kansas Day? Did a little research, and I found out the magic of Kansas Day. And so since then, we have been faithfully celebrating every single year, both of them.
The second annual Kansas Day celebration for us.
We didn't have a Cubicle Show last year to celebrate, so this is magical.
But what we have done is for 2 years in a row, we've been on live TV talking about Kansas Day.
That's right. We managed to work it into the Center for Disability Services telethon both years.
Yes.
So,
and we will continue to do so as long as it falls in that area. So Kansas, if you want us to represent the state and go on a world tour and go around the world talking about why you should visit Kansas,
we got you. In fact, I've got a list of Kansas Day facts, which I can either do now or later. Should we save that for
Let's
later?
save that for the end of the show. Let's if you're cool with it. If we move Fashion Police today and we just skip on Fashion Police today,
so I'm totally cool.
And we just do Kansas facts at the end of the show.
Yep.
Start with Kansas Day, close with Kansas Day. That's how you do a show, right? All right, so let's get into this. Let's talk about Jay-Z versus Donald Trump first. Before we get into the Grammys, because this happened on, I believe, Saturday night or Friday night. Jay-Z was on Van Jones or something like that. This guy on CNN, he is on a show. And Jay-Z's, they're all talking about, racism in America and, all the stuff going on. And Jay-Z's, saying, a lot of times, instead of actually dealing with the problems, facing it head on, it's been more of I'm just going to keep spraying this on it, just cover up the smell and, just avoid it. And when it gets bad, we'll put more spray on it and we'll just keep building
Sweep it under the rug.
Exactly. We won't really deal with it. And because we haven't dealt with it, it creates a super bug, right? We're going to need you in a second, Jake. We're going to need, because he's got the new challenge for you. It'll create a super bug. And then he goes on to say that super bug is Donald Trump. Afterwards, he kind of cleaned it up a little bit, like, oh, he's a human too, blah, blah, blah. We got to go in on, all that type of psychology stuff. Well, anyways, so Trump immediately gets on the Twitter machine, not the Google machine, but the Twitter machine, and he goes after Jay, like, oh, somebody tell Jay-Z that, black unemployment is the lowest that it's been in 18 years or whatever it is.
18 years.
Something
18
like that.
Years. Got you for one of his kids, got you for 18 years.
18 years. Well, anyways, so why would Trump respond to Jay-Z on this? He didn't respond to somebody called Eminem, who really went in and said a whole lot of worse things about Donald Trump than what Jay-Z said in that little interview. Jay-Z may have compared him to a superbug, but at least Jay-Z was talking about issues and maybe, you know, we got to deal with them instead of just sweeping them under the rug.
That's exactly the point. You raised a great question. Why will Donald Trump respond to Jay-Z but not to Eminem?
Oh, it's not because Jay-Z's black and Eminem's white?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't rule out that possibility. But
I think
that's
number one.
The question is, what did Eminem have to say versus what did Jay-Z have to say? Did Eminem say anything of substance? Not really. He just kind of threw insults. Did Jay-Z discuss like a legitimate problem and have, you know, a compelling argument to make? It sounds like it. It sounds like to me, Eminem doesn't respect or Donald Trump doesn't respect Eminem enough to respond to him. He thinks of him as like a petulant little child, which is ironic. But he does respect Jay-Z enough to say, okay, here I'm going to address the points you made and respond to it on Twitter.
Now, I think the black-white thing is like number one in my opinion, but also you saying that kind of makes me go back to something G-Dog said maybe 20 episodes ago or 10 episodes ago. G-Dog was like, he's like, you know, on MSNBC, they have it's all opinions on like Trump, right? He never says anything about them, but then when you're like reporting like more facts, then he attacks you. So is it something similar to that?
Yeah, it's sort of what I'm saying.
Is that what you said, John? Right? I don't want to misquote you or whatever.
If you're just going to call him a poopy head.
Real news. He doesn't attack people that have a strong.
Attacks real news, not people with strong opinion politics.
Right. You call him a poopy head, he's going to ignore you. But if you say, hey, you're doing racist things in this, that, or the other fashion, he's going to say, no.
Wow. You know, so
he's bringing by the caution wet floor. This is a little symbolic tease
do you think
in itself.
Eminem is super mad now? Like, damn it, you're supposed to respond to me, not Jay, man.
If he is, then he needs to make a good case. He needs to lay it out. And it does also another thing is you mentioned that Jay-Z kind of like, oh, he's a human too. So he treated the situation with respect. He said, here's an issue. Like, I understand you're a person too, so you deserve respect, right? But here's the problem. We have problems where Eminem is just like, you're dumb.
Yeah, let me throw my middle fingers up at you.
Yeah, right.
Take that, Trump.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, so let's get Jake over here. Yo, Jake, you around, guy? So we've all heard about this.
No problem, guys. I'll be there in just a little bit. I just got to take care of this first. Oh, hey, what's up, fellas?
What's going on? So the Tide Pod Challenge, it's kind of still going strong. Tide Pod sales
It
are up.
is. It's every 12 seconds online. People are talking about the Tide Pod Challenge still.
And what does detergent do but clean out your clothes?
Does it clean out your insides?
It cleans out your insides.
But there's something better to use to clean out your insides.
Yeah, so we're going to present to you a brand new challenge.
What's this challenge?
Well, it's called the colon blow. Pooping is cool with colon blow. Here you go.
That is a real thing.
It says it.
Okay, get that in your
Jake
life. And then
has.
make sure you have one of these on standby because accidents happen.
Okay, so what does he... Let's
don't
go...
have answers.
You don't got... So this is what it does. So there's a 4-step process, I guess. Step 1, 5 p.m. dinner. Take your first colon blow serving, powder, and capsule. Step 2, this is over 24-hour period. Step 2, 7 a.m. for breakfast. Take your second colon blow serving, powder, and capsule. Number 3, wow, this is a lot. 12 o'clock for lunch. Take your third and final capsule. And then at 5 o'clock, dinner, like normal,
Yeah.
which I think is the code word.
That's great. That's great if you want to follow directions. But if you want to do the colon blow challenge, you rip this up and you chug it all at once. That's the challenge.
Here's your warning not to do this at home and do not listen to him.
You shouldn't.
You should not listen to us and you
This
should follow
is
the actual
more
rules.
of a symbolic commentary on the insanity of the Tide
And you
Pod
should
challenge.
take this as-
Don't actually do this.
satire.
Yes. Thank you. There we go.
All right?
So
All right.
yeah.
Satire.
What would be the updated steps? Like step 1 would be to chug, and then
Oh, it's just
Step
step
1,
one,
chug.
the
Step
whole
2,
thing.
poop.
2 through
Yeah.
4 would just be poop.
Yeah, we're going to
Pooping
put
is
it down
cool.
to 2 steps.
Yep.
Chug
Yeah.
and poop.
It's simple for you.
Chug and then regret.
Some people were saying that the Grammy Awards were poop last night.
Oh man, there's a lot of complaints about the Grammys. All right, so first of all, let's go over. Let's give an overview of the big winners at the Grammys. Bruno Mars took home pretty much everything. He won the big 3: Album of the Year, 24 Karat Magic; Record of the Year, 24 Karat Magic; Song of the Year. That's what I like. And then he also took, what else did he take? Best R&B song, album, and performance.
Okay.
Childish Gambino got Best Traditional R&B Performance for Redbone. Alessia Cara was Best New Artist. Kendrick Lamar got Best Rap Album, Best Rap Song, and Best Rap Performance, as well as Best Rap Song Collaboration. And Ed Sheeran, this is where it starts to get dicey. Ed Sheeran got Best Pop Vocal Album and Pop Vocal Performance. That case in particular, people were upset about because he beat out, what was it, Kesha, Lady Gaga, Kelly Clarkson.
Who's this, Ed Sheeran?
And so he beat out 4 women. Hang on. Oh, and Pink for Best Pop Vocal Performance.
I gotta admit, she had very great vocals on her album.
If you're talking strictly like pop vocal performance, which is the name of the award, then that probably should have gone to Kesha for Praying. Was it a better song? I'm not a critic. I don't know. I don't know anything at all about music. I don't have opinions. But the Grammy people do, and they said the Ed Sheeran song was better. So that's what happened. There was a big to-do also about, there were some people were snubbed. Jay-Z went in with 8 nominations, took home 0 awards.
He should have got something.
SZA also is the most nominated female artist. She had 5 nods heading into the night, and she took no awards home. Despacito was nominated 4 times, broke a bunch of records, was number 1 for 16 straight weeks, still the most viewed video on YouTube, broke streaming records like crazy. 4 nominations, no awards. People were losing their minds about that on Twitter, and I just want to address that because the Grammys, and oh, look at this, we got a special guest for Kansas Day, Mike Ryan.
Kendrick Lamar was snubbed, he should have won.
Best
I'm
album?
like Kanye right now.
Best album?
At least best album.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he was nominated for Best Album, which Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars was we'll say, I'm going to say gifted. He was gifted quite a few awards.
You think?
This year. When I say gifted, I mean, well, okay, don't tell John this, but I don't think he really deserved them.
Why?
What?
Why do you think he didn't deserve it?
I don't think he had the best album and everything this year. He deserved an award or
He
two.
deserves awards, but like all those ones that he got?
You're not critics.
Exactly.
Well, here's okay, so a lot of people also complaining about the Best New Artist, right? How did Alessia Cara,
who's been on the scene since like 2015.
That's when her album Know It All came out. I think it's a great album. I like Alessia Cara a lot, personally. I like her vocals also on the suicide prevention song, the Logic song.
1-800-223-87.
Still don't know the number
Yeah, I
of
don't
it.
know it either.
Well, I don't understand. You were kind of breaking it down, but
Yeah.
it's like, how does somebody put out an album in 2015 and then be considered Best New Artist? Like, I mean, you had SZA and Lil Uzi also in that category, who arguably had huge 2017. So how does it even compare?
Because the Grammys changed their criterion is singular, criteria is plural, so criterion for being nominated to Best New Artist, so that you just have to have not been previously nominated for a Grammy. So if this is your first Grammy nomination, you can be Best New Artist.
So I could put out an album
you could have put out an album 15 years ago.
right? And then, okay, that's what I was going to say.
And if you just got nominated this year, Best New Artist, Scott Pink. So, anyway.
That's pretty lame.
It doesn't matter. I mean, the album was released in 2015.
The album released in 2015.
And the hits are within that year that they're...
And the hits are in that year.
Yeah, the year that you
That's
became
G-Dog talk. I'm trying
influential. I mean,
relay his
Here was a
message.
hit in 2015, but that's neither here nor there. Okay.
Okay. Also, one thing though about the Grammys is that the people that are allowed to vote in the Grammys, producers and musicians and all the people
who know music,
yeah, the real
people
critics
on the
out
inside
there,
of
right?
the industry.
You got all these people that are allowed to vote for the Grammys, but not everybody uses their ability to vote. And I think because people aren't actually using their vote is why you get all these artists and people in the culture complaining like, oh, they don't know what's going on. Well, use your vote. Like, you have the ability to. If you're just letting the mainstream vote, in a sense, and you're not putting your vote in, the mainstream's going to, in a sense, win all the time. You know what I mean? So it's
you're saying this is why Macklemore won a few years ago over Kendrick, because he was mainstream, and the people who would have voted for Kendrick didn't vote.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying Macklemore would not have won, and maybe a bunch of those people that didn't vote would have voted for Macklemore, but it gives it more of a chance. If you're not using your vote, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? You can't complain if you don't vote.
I also want to drive
Not
home.
not my winner.
Nothing but respect for my best album winner, Kendrick Lamar. I want to drive home the point that these awards are based on quality, not popularity. So it doesn't matter how many weeks you spent at number one. Just because you spent 4 months at number one doesn't mean you necessarily deserve award. There could be a better song out there, and the Grammy voters obviously did not think that Despacito was good enough, and neither did I, but I'm not a critic.
What's going on with Taylor Swift, though, in this?
Thank
Lady
you for
Gaga.
bringing that up. Lady Gaga last night was wearing a snake ring on the red carpet, and presumably for the rest of the ceremony, very similar to a ring that Taylor Swift has in her merch store. Not the exact same one. So people thought, oh, maybe this means that she's wearing the snake ring, she's showing it off, she's going to collaborate with Taylor Swift soon. My question to that is, if you were, excuse me, that Diet Dew's getting to me. If that's the message you're trying to send, why not just wear the actual Taylor Swift snake ring? It's not like she can't afford it, even though it is expensive.
You know why? Because
Why?
This gets people talking. So get ready for that Lady Swift album.
That was actually exactly my point, was that she could have done that, but then it would have been too obvious. This way, the internet detectives go in on it, and we are talking as we...
Ronda
Oh, wow,
Rousey also appeared at the Royal Rumble last night with the WWE. And she basically said in an interview that she is booked with WWE for the next couple of years, that she could have made a lot of money doing other things, but this is what she's focusing on. They get first call.
Did she get her butt kicked in her last 2 UFC
Yep.
outings? So she decided to just
Yep.
take that notoriety and go to a place where they can write her victories for her.
Exactly.
Okay, that's fair. Hey, take the money however you can get it. No disrespect. If you're gonna make that money and have a good time doing it.
Now, does she deserve to get, is she a bigger attraction than Brock Lesnar, do you think?
Probably, yeah.
Because Brock Lesnar is that special attraction that comes in every now and then for the pay-per-views in wrestling.
Well, in the wrestling world, I don't know, but in like the eyes of the mainstream, yeah, I think so. I don't.
So would she be the number one person in wrestling right now?
Maybe. I don't know. That's hard to say. I guess it all depends on how
I'm not
good she
talking
is
about
as it.
wrestlers as in the people that are like going to really judge it. I just mean in general.
No, I know. I'm
Is
saying
she going to be the most easiest thing to promote for him?
probably, yeah, at this point in time. Unlike John Cena, like the most publicly visible person. Most people I think have heard of Ronda Rousey, whether they're into UFC or not. So yes.
All right, so with that all being said, we're about to close out today's episode of the Bill and Scott Cubicle Show. Now, yesterday on TV, we were able to work in Jams 96.3 and a Cubicle Show reference in the same break. And tomorrow, I hope to have some video to play back for you if you didn't see
Just take some video, because he DVR'd it. So just like take cell phone video
Well,
over your
I have
TV screen.
I have an HDMI cable that goes to a USB, so I'm hoping that I can
Oh, you
go
can,
from
like,
the
stream it.
HDMI from my television
You
or
could.
from the box, and then put it into my computer where OBS is,
Right,
which
and
we
you can
run this
record-
program
yep.
through, and then record it.
You can do that.
So that's the goal right there.
That's smart.
Okay, so let's get into these last Kansas facts for you.
Here we go.
Today.
So, just as a little bit of backstory, we do Fun Fact Friday every. I like how you're dragging that around in real time. I didn't even know you could do
I
that.
didn't either.
Yo, that's crazy. All right. For the last 9 or 10 weeks on Fun Fact Friday, I've been sneaking Kansas facts in preparation for this day. So this has been a big production. And so this is the compilation of all these facts. Number 1, in Topeka, Kansas, it is illegal to sing the alphabet on the streets at night.
Wow.
The
That's because
windy-
they don't want you to learn.
The windiest city in the United States is Dodge City, Kansas. Average wind speed, 14 miles an hour. You know how much the average wind speed is around here in Albany? 5 miles an hour. That's almost 3 times
Wow.
as windy.
So is that how they got the idea of the tornado and the Wizard of Oz, maybe?
Yeah, because there's a lot of tornadoes because it's windy.
Yeah.
You know how there's that joke, why is this state pronounced Kansas and this state is not pronounced Arkansas? Right?
Sure, yep.
Arkansas? Well, fun fact, the Arkansas River actually changes its pronunciation as it crosses state lines. On either side of Kansas, in Colorado and Oklahoma, it's the Arkansas River. But within Kansas, they pronounce it the Arkansas River.
Yeah. It's a very proud state.
The first national hamburger chain, and here's a reason for some of that pride, started in 1921 when Walter Anderson opened a White Castle in Wichita, Kansas. And the first ever Pizza Hut opened in Wichita, Kansas.
Now, Bill, I want you to pick one more of your favorite facts here and
all
give
of
it to
them.
the people.
There are 27 Walnut Creeks in Kansas. The first ball dropping... No, wait, that's a New Year's fact. That get in there. Farmland covers more than 88% of the total land in Kansas. It's illegal to hunt whales. It's illegal to use mules to hunt ducks.
My favorite thing about the illegal to hunt whales thing with Kansas is that there's no, like, body of water where whales would be.
Yeah, it's
anywhere
completely
near
landlocked.
Kansas.
There's no oceans. You also are prohibited from shooting rabbits from motor boats. And finally, everyone's favorite Kansas fact, in 1985, Kansas sued Colorado for a violation of agreement on water use and won $14 million in damages.
Ooh, do you think Colorado used way too much water for their pot? To grow their pot?
Yeah, back in 1985, like 30 years
before
it was
1985? I didn't hear that part. I thought it was something recent.
No. But $14 million is a lot more in 1985 money.
Maybe 20 now.
Might have been closer to 30. I don't know what the turnover rate is.
I don't know either. Okay, so with that being said, get out there and wish everybody you see a happy Kansas Day. So we'll see you tomorrow. Remember, Bill Scott Cubicle Show on the Jams Facebook page, Monday through Thursday, 10:30 Eastern Time.
Because, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. And that's the only time that matters.
One. Cubicle Show. Cubicle Show. Cubicle Show. Cubicle Show! That's what I'm talking about, boy! Bill and Scott Cubicle Show. Yeah? Bill and Scott Cubicle Show. Yeah! Bill and Scott Cubicle Show. It's the Bill and Scott Cubicle Show. It's the Bill and Scott Cubicle Show. It's the Bill and Scott Cubicle Show. Cubicle Show. Cubicle Show. Cubicle Show. Cubicle Show. Not a rectangle show. Not a triangle show. Not a pyramid show. It's a cubicle show. Bill and Scott Cubicle Show. Yeah? Bill and Scott Cubicle Show. Yeah! Cubicle Show. We just got one. Boy!